that Rooney would be introduced to, because he probably wouldn't have remembered it too vividly. But that helps to galvanise a relationship. You know, they're players and they're managers, but they're still humans, and it's about building connections with people to foster a really healthy relationship. And go back a few weeks. It was I can't remember if it was the Carabao Cup game that Joe Edwards made a tackle and Wayne Rooney kind of clapped or punched the air to say, right, that was the catalyst to ignite the rest of the performance. And sometimes something so subtle can have such a significant impact. Now, we don't know what happened afterwards, but Wayne might have said to Joe, that was fantastic. You know, you sparked the leadership that we want, and that's given him the belief to go on and showcase what he's capable of doing. And if we go back a few months ago, not going over old ground, Joe was admitted from the squad under a different manager, and that shows character in himself and belief in his own ability to go, I'm still good enough to play at this level. Yeah. And he's showcased it brilliantly so far this season. Yeah,
and I think as well, and no disrespect to Joe and me saying this, I think some people keep thinking he's older than he actually is. Not because he looks it, of course, but I think just because of the way he conducts himself, and he's got a very mature a personality about him, but also the fact that people know him so much, but he's not actually, he's still a young age to be playing football, and he's got so much more to give. So it is great that he's had that contract, extended. He's not looking to, leave or go into a slightly different avenue. He just wants to play.
I agree. I mean, people keep saying that this is his like swan song, and it's like, this final farewell. He's like, well, hang on, I can still play here.
Yeah.
He's 33, is he? So he's not old. No. He looks after himself, as you heard there. He eats well. He prepares right. The modern footballing world, sporting world, people are playing it like into their late 30s. So, he's still got 5, 6, even 7 years maybe. And he's probably going to want to keep playing for as long as he can, because he's competitive. You could see that. He's always had that element of leadership in him. He loves the pressure, he said. So he's going to keep testing himself against the players that are at his level for as long as he can. And, he deserves it more than anyone, because I think the players really respect his leadership as well. And recently, obviously last week, the most recent one was he steps up in big moments.
Yeah, well, after the performances we've seen from him, we certainly don't want him going anywhere, that's for sure. Right, we've still got lots more to come on Argyle at breakfast this morning. Nina Radford from the National Marine Aquarium in Plymouth is going to be popping in to talk about how we can all help keep this great city of ours clean. Assistant head coach Pete Shuttleworth talks about the positive mood in camp heading into a second game in a row against the league leaders. And Steve Castle, the man who scored a hat-trick the last time we beat West Brom some 30 years ago, relives the memories of that great day.
It's not about the miles travelled, the long journeys planned and made. Portsmouth to Sunderland, by coach, car and train.
We are pilgrims, like our forebears. The spirit of adventure is in our veins.
In battles fought on foreign ground, our loyal chant and constant sound.
We travel as one.
The Green Army, on the march.
We wear the shirt with pride.
A sea of green surging forward like the tide. Jammers, one and all. The threads are woven with our dreams. In every stitch our passion beams. Distance doesn't faze us. We're loyal to the last.
It's more than just a shirt. We are Plymouth Argyle.
We were built for the journey.
hello. We're just coming up to 20 past 10 on Argyle Breakfast this morning. Hope you are well and enjoying your Saturday. Now, next week, some of you may be deep into playing the newest of the EAFC series of video games. EAFC 25 comes out on Friday and is now the yearly ritual. The players have been, well, they've had their ratings revealed in advance, and Morgan Whittaker got his hands on the Argyle rating to show the rest of his teammates.
Okay, mate, go for it.
Hi, I'm Morgan Whittaker and I've got some EA Sports FC25 cards with me. This is mine. A lot better than previous seasons, so I'll take that. But I've heard 75's gold, so I need to have a word with someone at EA Sports about that. But yeah, let's go and show the lads some of those.
Okay, go on.
No way. What's that?
Come on, man. Let's talk. Come on.
Wait, what? This?
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
What?
Correct.
No, that's not correct.
Oh.
Yeah, this one is correct.
Let's swap these two over.
No, this one is correct for you. No, I need
to swap this one.
This one, I need one more. Like,
defending's about right.
I need more. Defending? I defend more than you. Go on. More than this guy.
Pace is alright. Pace is alright.
Yeah, nice.
That's all the thing I look at, the pace and the finishing. Physical, 93. 93 physical.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How strong, man?
Yeah.
66, what pace are you in?
59 shot.
TJ's 25 pace.
No,
Pass it.
come on, man.
His passing is better than yours.
Hey, his dribbling's better than yours.
Huh? How?
His dribbling's better than yours.
Every 55 physical.
Oh, God. Huh? There's no way AB is quicker than me. No. There's no way. No way.
I'll just give you that one.
No, but this, no.
Correct.
No, it's not correct.
Oh yeah, it should be way higher.
75. I should give you
85.
75. No, I should give you 75.
99. Still no gold. Still no gold. 84.
Rami, where is yours?
Could be higher. Could be higher.
Right. Can you check?
And that's probably right. It's alright, but I want it a different colour. I defend better than you. No. Yeah. Charlie, get physics, wait, I want to see physics. That one. What do you think? Let's do a poll on. And this one. And this one. Look at that. My dribbling is better than you. I'm not faster.
Your face is quick on TJ. Ask TJ.
Where's DJ? Slow guy, bro. Slow.
Yeah, but how is this possible? How is this possible? This guy is faster than me. It's impossible. It's impossible.
Now the thing was, you're all jealous because last year I was the highest. And now they think I'm a year older, they're going to put me down a bit. False. Nah, last year I was the highest in here, now they've all got jealous. Let's go and see Barley. Higher, should be higher. Should be way higher. Shooting. One goal in 9.
Silver bronze is the same, bro. 86. Yeah, bro. It's the same, bro. Joey, put it in the right place for you.
I mean, shock horror. It may not come as a surprise to you, Aaron, that I don't play these kind of games. I think the last football game I got involved in was FIFA 2005. So I don't fully understand what's going on, but I do like watching the videos nonetheless. Yeah. I mean, never really happy with their ratings, are they? Do you think anyone was particularly hard done by there?
Well, Joe's was in the bin, so I reckon he was probably not too impressed. He said another year older, therefore they knocked me down a point, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know how they calculate these scores. I mean, what's interesting, they'll do some statistics. Obviously, right. I'm not sure how objective it is, but it's funny when all the attackers have got really poor defensive scores, and all the defenders have got really high defensive scores, which is kind of obvious, but. Yeah. Some of the attackers are quite good defensively, but I don't know how they.
Do you play any of these?
I don't know. No. I mean, again, I'm not really a computer game person.
Oh. Do you know who does? Simon Hallett.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we'll ask him.
Yeah.
We'll get Simon to answer some questions. Well, it'd be good to see if Simon does his own calculations.
Yeah. I should.
But then favouritism might come in. We'll get him to do it anonymously.
Yeah.
Simon, if you're watching, yes.
Let us know. I'm pretty sure he does. What would you think if you had your own player rating? What would be your
way higher than them?
Yeah,
absolutely. No,
what do you think your particular, of the selection along the bottom?
Good one.
What would be your top one?
Coaching.
Yeah, the bonus.
Put it on the side,
gold.
Little asterisks.
Yeah.
Coaching. That's what it would be.
Okay,
It'd be quite high, I think. The rest, not so much. But
because I think Morgan was saying you need 75 to get a gold.
Oh, do you?
What am I talking about? Honestly?
Oh, I didn't know that. So
I'm pretty sure that's what he said. So maybe next season, we may see Morgan Whittaker in a gold-backed player rating. That would be.
I can imagine it's fun. It must draw a little bit of competitiveness to it, especially when I think Tajani was saying that he was quicker than Sissoko, and Sissoko's rating's quicker.
I just find it so weird, like going onto my Xbox or PlayStation or whatever and selecting myself as like a playable character. Like that must be crazy.
That must be really surreal. It must be because I think you can create your own one as well. So you'd probably give yourself a higher score, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd go in and manipulate it and give yourself like at least a 90. Get yourself in the top quota.
But it is. I mean, it's really interesting. I know when I used to play FIFA 2005.
What players were on it back then? Can you remember?
Oh my God! Well, I used to be a Celtic fan through my dad, so I was, like Bobo Balde, Petrov, all of that. And
Henrik Larsson.
Yeah, Henrik Larsson. Big time. Yeah, but
yeah.
I'm trying to think if when I played at Argyle, if I ever. Did I do Argyle like that? I don't know. I've still got it. I've still got my PS2 and I've still got FIFA 05.
You'll have to crack it open next week and have a play.
I'll let you know and I'll bring it in. I mean, it's just so... I just find it so interesting that it's a... And I suppose it's nice that they're getting into it because football, yes, obviously is an outlet for fans and people watching, but obviously it is their career, it's their job. They have to take it really seriously, but it's nice that you can have a little bit of light-hearted, banter around it when you have stuff like that coming out.
It must be funny if some of them are, if that's their main game where they play football all day for their job and then they go home and unwind and play a football game.
Yeah.
It's like a busman's holiday, isn't it? In a way,
it is a bit. I mean, it's just football all the way around and then I get Argyle all the way up into the Premier League.
Some of them would have done, no doubt, and they would have got themselves into their national sides and been European Player of the Year and World Footballer of the Year and all that.
I mean, this reminds me actually. How's your fantasy football stuff going?
I've not really looked for a few weeks to be honest. I don't know how I'm doing, to be honest.
Okay.
I did it in the first couple of weeks. Yeah, I was like middle of the league.
Oh, I thought you were really...
Well, I was, and then life's taken over a little bit, and I've just kind of forgotten. How's yours?
I actually forgot to make one, so I guess it's not going badly.
Oh, okay.
Because it doesn't exist.
I was going to say, how do you know? But
it's not going great either. EAFC does come out next Friday, so that is the 27th of September. So do keep a close eye on the social channels for your chance to win a signed copy of those EAFC player cards. You can also say maybe whose you'd like to get your hands on as well. And we've got some people in the socials as well we need to give a shout out to. If you haven't got in touch with us already, please do. We'd love to hear from you, and we're available on all the different social media platforms. And at the minute on Twitter or X, we've got Kerno85 who said, Argyle cheering on the lads from a wet Salou in Spain today, wishing Wayne Rooney and the PAFC team the best of luck against West Brom. And he is done the hashtag Yellow and Green Army because, of course, we are in the third kit today. I went on about this kit, I think, the first week that we did this. It's quite nice. Aaron, any thoughts on it?
What, the yellow one?
The yellow one.
Yeah, I think it's nice. It's different, isn't it? yeah, I mean,
I don't know what I was expecting, me asking you that and going, it's absolutely horrible.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's nice colours, I think, blends well, you know. It's like anything, isn't it? New season brings new kits, and some people like it, some people immediately hate it, and I think grow to like it. I think it's just a new season, there's new kits, and the pink, is the away one the pink one?
This year, no, it's the white one.
Oh, the white one, of course.
With the little logos on it.
No, the white one I do like, actually. Yeah. But yeah, yellow today, why not?
Why not? Why not? Who else have we got? Not in a yellow shirt at the moment. Chris Watt, starting my journey from Harrogate to West Brom to join the Green Army, cheering on Argyle. He's on the train. And one more, we've got Jason Phipps, who's en route at the minute. And this I always find very handy because my geography of the UK is shocking. But he's screenshotted the map, which says it's a 4 hour and 15 minute. Oh, gosh, no, he's going all the way from Cornwall. That looks like Sorry, I'm so sorry. This looks like Land's End or something. So 4 hours and 15. It's pretty long. That's quite a long journey, Aaron.
It's a long enough journey just to get to Plymouth, and now from where he is, and now he's, you know, maybe it's, you know, A38, M5, M6. Would it be then?
I think it's just sometimes because me in particular, you know, very home based in this job. I sometimes don't have the same perspective of how far fans travel. And I mean, it really is a testament to just how passionate people are about the club to go from what is essentially the furthest southwest there is to everywhere else.
If they're travelling on a home game, if they're travelling nearly 2 hours to get here, like add that on to the away games as well. You know,
and if you lose,
that's the thing. It's like the going up's the exciting bit. Is if it doesn't go quite to plan, you think, God, I can't go home now. Wait until the winter months kick in as well.
Oh, it's a long old ride back to Plymouth. Well, hopefully that won't happen for everybody today, and we get those 3 points that we're looking for. And before we get to that, of course, we've still got lots more coming up on Argyle Breakfast. So let's have a look. Pete Shuttleworth is sitting down with Argyle TV to run through some of the plans to try and topple the league leaders for the second week in a row. And if you missed it earlier, we'll play it again, the exclusive interview with Joe Edwards after he extended his stay at Argyle by another year. And of course, we've got the 72 in 72 challenge. We know that Brian did well last year, but how will Ryan Hardy do?
It's not about the miles travelled, the long journeys planned and made. Portsmouth to Sunderland by coach, car or train.
We are pilgrims, like our forebears. The spirit of adventure is in our veins.
In battles fought on foreign ground, our loyal chant and constant sound.
We travel as one.
The Green Army under march.
We wear the shirt with pride.
A sea of green surging forward like the tide. Jammers, one and all. The threads are woven with our dreams. In every stitch our passion beams. Distance doesn't faze us. We're loyal to the last.
It's more than just a shirt.
We are Plymouth Argyle.
We were built for the journey.
All right, welcome back. Well, the top news of Argyle Breakfast this morning is, of course, that contract extension signed by Joe Edwards. He's going to be staying with the club until 2026. So we've got an exclusive chat with him here for you on Argyle Breakfast, where he caught up with Charlie Price.
Is there something that you can, pinpoint in you, and I suppose other players will be in this situation as well, where you almost feel it's your time to step up in a game like that? Because it feels almost not like a coincidence that when a big game is there, Joe Edwards gets the goal or puts in the performance.
I don't know if I can put my finger on it. I know I prepare the same for every game. So my missus will make me laugh. I have the same food, same stuff, consistent in what I do. But I suppose I enjoy the pressure. I've always taken responsibility in terms of leading the group or doing what I need to do, and maybe it's just a coincidence that because I've always been consistent and try to do the same things
in these moments. A few have thankfully fell to me. It's something I'm really proud of. I don't sort of shy away when there's a challenge, and I think that the bigger the game, the more I look forward to it. The atmosphere that we have here is incredible, and I think knowing there's pressure on it and knowing that I am the captain and there is responsibility on me maybe brings that a little bit more. And usually I will try and do it by running or working hard or a tackle, which will then bring our much more talented players in to score us a worldie or score us a different type of goal or keep us a clean sheet. And then occasionally, luckily, it's been a moment where I can enjoy, which has been a goal for myself. So, listen, I'm very lucky it's been that way, but I'd say I've worked hard in my career throughout to get these moments, and thankfully I've taken them.
You mentioned a little earlier about the relationship you have with the supporters, and I think that's quite clear how they feel towards you as well. With, like you said, the songs, there are people now saying get a statue built and all of that sort of stuff. And I imagine you've had good relationships with supporters at previous clubs, but has it been anything like what you've got with Argyle fans?
No, this has been the best I've ever had, and the best I will ever had. It is a special place, and I think coming down and joining, you don't realise it until you're here and experience it, what it means to everyone. Listen, we're a million miles from everywhere, so it's their club. It's something that they're passionate about, and I think the sooner you buy into it, the better. And I did straight away, and I've been lucky enough to receive numerous messages and comments along the way, and I think that really helps me as a player. I'm confident every time I play at home and away because I know they're backing me, and to have that sort of support is incredible, and it certainly helps me playing wise. I know it helps me off the pitch. The minimum I always try for these is to work hard, and I've done that throughout, but I think at Argyle the fans really recognise that, and it's something that I'll continue to do. Listen, at times quality won't always be there, and things will happen in games, but I think they know deep down I'll be working as hard as I can, and I think they give me the energy to do that. I think especially that whole game was so tense, but I just felt like I had all the energy in the world because I knew they were backing me, and how much it meant to them was special. So no, I can't thank them enough because they're the reason I'm still here. I said if they were not happy with me, I'm sure all the managers would keep playing me as well. So I think I've got a lot to thank the fans for, because I say without their support, I don't think we'd have had the success that we've had.
Yeah. If we look ahead, and obviously with this extra year in the future is hopefully going to be bright. What do you think can be achieved here?
Yeah, well, we've got a fantastic manager now. I said I'm lucky to have worked with some brilliant managers here, and Shuey and Lowy, they were fantastic guys and people I got on really well with. And now we've got a manager in who I've looked up to as a player for many years, and someone who I massively respect, and now I'm lucky enough to pick his brains and have a chance to work for him. So I think we're in a really good place. I think we're all learning off each other. He's really settled in down here, which is fantastic, and I think now we're in a position where we've got some really talented players, a lot younger and a lot more skillful than myself, but they need someone to guide them, I suppose. So the gaffer's been great with me to sort of lead that and keep running the changing room, and that'll be something I enjoy. And I said, now we've got this season and another of me playing, and I said I'm thankful for the club to allow me to do this and give me this opportunity, because I said at the minute playing's my full focus, and I wanted to prove this season I can still do it. And listen, I'll be the first to put my hands up and say, listen, I was not ready, or I'm not can't compete at this level still, but I still kind of feel good, and I think we've got an exciting future.
That's your morning exclusive with Joe Edwards, and I'm pleased to say now that we are joined in the studio by James Greenacre. Now, James spent 18 years here at Argyle in a number of different roles, most recently as the head of commercial, so he's seen quite a bit. James, thank you for being here this morning.
Thanks,
and
Erin.
What's your reaction to the latest Joe Edwards news?
I think it's brilliant for the club. It really shows how committed Joe is to the club in particular, but how committed the club is to Joe and to maintaining the links that we've established in the community as well. I think that Joe's, personifies everything that's right about Argyle. And hopefully we get a few more last-minute winners out of him over the next 12 months as well, because he seems to be getting a bit of a knack for that.
Yeah. Now, recently you've swapped home park for the Theatre Royal, but you're still holding the Theatre of Greens quite close to your heart, of course, because you're here this morning.
Yeah, it's hard not to after spending half a lifetime here. I'm fortunate enough to have got a season ticket, so
great.
I think I missed 2 games after I left because I really wanted to get that divide between my time here and my new role. Unfortunately, one of them was the 6-2 thrashing of Norwich, so yeah, not great. And yeah, since then I've been able to get to most games here, and it's been really nice to have seen the club continue that progression since I moved on.
Yeah, and I mean 18 years is a really long time to work for one place, so you must have seen a lot of progression, I guess, not only in your own career here but also just how the club's evolved as well. Yeah,
I think it's completely unrecognisable from the organisation I joined back in the mid-noughties, despite the fact that when I joined it was a championship club. I think the club has moved on hugely in that community space. But just the professionalisation of everything. When you look at the setup that we're in this morning, you look at the work that we're doing, that the club's currently doing in the commercial space, in hospitality, in retail, in ticketing. It's been brilliant to be a part of that, but it's also been lovely to see that continue. But as you say, yeah, it is, or as I say, even it's completely different from the club I joined all in a positive way.
Yeah, and I mean, you would have been here for the promotion. Were you here for that?
So I had
some highs.
Yeah, I've had some absolute highs. I think I had 3 promotions, 2 relegations. A couple of appearances at Wembley, which probably gloss over. And obviously, that long period through administration as well, which that was it feels like that could be a chat all on its own, to be honest. Yeah. So.
And head of commercial then, what kind of stuff does that involve? Because again, I find, Aaron, like when we do this show, because a lot of at face value, of course, it's about football and what happens on the pitch, but it's actually just so interesting hearing about all the different roles and people that make the club tick over. So for anyone that doesn't know that kind of more back of house stuff, head of commercial, what does that involve?
So the commercial team are primarily responsible for, it sounds awfully crass, but revenue generation and maximising the potential of the club's brand, both in the local, the national, and now the international space. We built that up from being quite a small revenue stream to the club to something that was much more significant and able to support the club's wider ambitions. And we were intrinsically linked with all the other revenue generators as well. So we'd worked really closely with retail, with ticketing, with Christian's team in hospitality as well. And also other elements of the club, so the community trust, which I've mentioned a couple of times, but we would work with those arms of the business to ultimately maximise that potential, bring the brands into the club that we wanted to work with, and I think that was something that we really worked hard on over the last few years of my time here, was about the quality nature of the brands that we were bringing in, and you can see that in the stadium now, and ultimately it was about a key part of the role was relationship building and partnerships and demonstrating the core value of Argyle as a brand within the city and as I say, on that wider level, and using those partners to also be a vehicle for success for the club as well, to generate further interest and get their workforce buying into what we were doing here, and ultimately cultivating that wider generation, or that further generation of Argyle supporter as well.
That's a really interesting point, because I speak to people, family, friends, people from a coaching space, how in its more recent time, how the club has flipped from being relatively insular to now an outward facing operation. So parents taking their child to go and watch an open training session, or just being attracted by the brands that have been brought in, to feel that they're part of a community and they're feeling the value as a result of being part of it. And I think that's really integral, because this is the main football team in the city, and football is primarily the thing but it's also like the operational side of it, to know that people want to invest in that club because it's part of the wider community. And that's real testament to all the work that yourself and others have done behind the scenes to actually flip its reputation as a much more open facing operation. So great work to you and the others, and may it long continue.
Yeah, I think that the civic pride piece is really important, and we worked, if I name a couple of brands in particular, so Babcock International, Princess Yachts, between them have got over 10,000 employees in the city, so that's 10,000 households, potentially 40,000 people using some average metrics there, and we really work with those brands to say actually there's a pride element of being involved with Argyle, and in particular with the work that they were supporting. So Babcock supporting the Christmas hamper campaign. Princess Yachts did some lovely work with youngsters of their employees when we did the kit launch, I think 3 years ago. And that was all about just strengthening those, as I say, those links. And as you put it so eloquently there, around that community piece were just so valuable to making sure the club is out there rather than just always being looked in on.
And you've moved from one iconic kind of establishment in the city to another one in the Theatre Royal. I think is the largest regional producing theatre in certainly the southwest
in the UK.
Exactly. Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
What's it like being part of that?
Same but different. I think. I mean, it is bizarre. They are hugely different sectors, but very similar organisations. Huge amount of passion within each building, as if you were referencing that. From the workforce, everyone cares deeply about what they do, which is very similar to what we do at what you guys do at Argyle. And I'm still stumbling over that we and you piece quite a bit, as you can tell. But yeah, I think both organisations have a huge role to play in the city and the region. Argyle is the biggest club in the county, across the southwest. As soon as you get up to Avonmouth, and TRP is a forerunner in the UK. And the last 12 months in particular, there we've done a huge amount of work in establishing ourselves not only nationally but also internationally with work such as The Artist and Devil Wears Prada. But we're probably not here to talk about theatrical productions, so I won't say that sales pitch.
I was going to say, have you got any shows coming up that you can recommend to Aaron?
Absolutely.
I can't tell you what the title is on air, but there is definitely something that we've got in the pipeline that I think you'll really
We'll have
enjoy.
a chat in a minute.
Yeah,
Run BT, run BT.
Yeah, exactly. Well, James, thank you so much for being here. In terms of just quickly before we let you go, this afternoon's game, what are you thinking?
If you'd have asked me that this time last week,
yep,
I'd have said I'll just hide behind the sofa and copy the chairman's wife. On paper, it should be a real struggle, but to use the old cliche, the game's not played on paper. So I think, I'm a realist. I would say if we can go to the Hawthorns and take a point, that's a good point away from home. Any point away in the Championship is a good point. So I would snap your hand off for that right now. But, again, just display what we did in the last 45 against Sunderland, and I think the fans, no matter the result, then will be proud of the performance, and we can then move on to the next.
Yeah, a very good response. You can see why they give you the big important jobs. James, thank you very much for being with us, and we're almost through the first hour of Argyle Breakfast now, so let's have a little look at what else we've got left to come. In the next 5 minutes, Nina Radford from the National Marine Aquarium will be with us to talk about how Argyle fans can keep the southwest beaches clean and beautiful. Joe Edwards is also lifting the lid on why he's signed an extension to his contract at Argyle by another year until 2026. And Aaron will talk us through some of the finer details ahead of this afternoon's match with those league leaders, West Brom.
It's not about the miles travelled, the long journeys planned and made. Portsmouth to Sunderland, by coach, car or train.
We are pilgrims, like our forebears. The spirit of adventure is in our veins.
In battles fought on foreign ground, our loyal chant and constant sound.
We travel as one.
The Green Army, under march.
We wear the shirt with pride.
A sea of green surging forward like the tide. Jammers, one and all. The threads are woven with our dreams. In every stitch our passion beams. Distance doesn't faze us. We're loyal to the last.
It's more than just a shirt. We are Plymouth Argyle.
We were built for the journey.
Hello, welcome back. You are watching Argyle Breakfast on Saturday, the 21st of September. Now, after 2 home games, Argyle are back on the road, fresh after their first league win here in the Championship last weekend. And we're going to have a slight gear change now as summer comes to an end, sadly. Although, you know, the weather has been very good this week. It doesn't mean that we have to stop enjoying the beautiful coastline that we're very lucky to have and enjoy here in the southwest. And if we are able to enjoy the beaches and the water, if you're a swimmer, we have to make sure that we keep them clean. And this is where our next guest comes in to help. So I'm very pleased to say that we are joined this morning by Nina Radford, who is an Ocean Discovery Ranger from the National Marine Aquarium. Now that is a cool title. Cool. Nina, thanks for being with us. Just talk to me a little bit about that. What does that role involve?
Yeah, thank you. So I'm an Ocean Discovery Ranger. That means mostly I'm around the aquarium. I'm engaging with people. It's all about connecting people with the ocean, but I do get to do a lot of outreach as well. So I go snorkeling, rock pooling, taking people all around Plymouth. Yeah, it's excellent.
I mean, you have to do, I guess as part of your job, a lot of it is about educating people about the coastline and things like that. And we know how important it is to keep things clean for people to enjoy. So this is kind of an initiative that you're, you know, raising awareness of, that, you know, getting people to help with the environment.
Yeah, exactly. So we're all familiar with beach cleans and litter picks. So we run these Ocean City cleanups, and it's really about getting people out and about, picking up all the litter. We meet outside the National Marine Aquarium, which is the home of the Ocean Conservation Trust. We'll set people up with all sorts of litter picking equipment, and then it's all about just walking along the seafront, and we've got such a gorgeous coastline, so picking up all those bits of litter, stopping any plastic pollution from ending up in the ocean. And yeah, last year we collected 160 kilograms of rubbish, which is pretty good, and we had about 117 volunteers coming out with us. So, and I think that, well, I did the maths, that equates to about 10 football teams and about 350 footballs worth of rubbish, I think, which is pretty good going. But yeah, it's all a part. So at the OCT, we've got sort of 2 main focuses. We've got the habitats restoration part, which is all about the seagrass, which you might be familiar with, and then also this sort of behaviour change, connecting people with the ocean thing. So we're really aware that in order to connect with the ocean, you've got to have a bit of an emotional connection with something to actually want to be able to protect it. So getting people out there to sort of actually be involved in the ocean and experience it firsthand and actually do something positive really helps to build that emotional connection. So
I don't know if you've had this, Aaron, but when lockdown happened, I got really into community litter picking because, you know, it was really one of the only chances you could have to go outside. So, and, you know, you get the bag and the grabby tongs and stuff. It's really like therapeutic and quite enjoyable. I mean, I haven't done it on, a beach or in kind of like an ocean environment, but, you know, similar vibe. There is something, do you find that like when you're encouraging people and you go out and interact with members of the public, you know, like we've got here, they find that as well? There is like an element of real satisfaction to it.
Absolutely. So, I mean, not only are you sort of like, you can just focus on one thing for a while, which is nice to just take your mind off everyday life, but also there's this sort of blue mind idea that spending time near the sea in general is just really good for your mental health, and you're doing something that's good for the environment. So yeah, it's great all round. It makes you feel great.
People care.
Yeah.
You know, we all live in this area and we care about where we live, and we live in a beautiful place where we've got the coastline on one side of the city and the moorland on the other side. And if you know you've got a purpose and a care, you're obviously going to take more of a vested interest. And not only that, you'll have a heightened awareness of litter. Just walking along the street, well, what's that, you know? And it just keeps spreading that great message.
Yeah.
I mean, my children have done some litter picking, you know, as part of their school project. And it's just fantastic because we've got to teach people the importance of, you know, keeping everything clean and sustainable.
I mean, it's one of those things we had. I don't know if maybe you saw last week, Sunderland fans obviously coming down all that way down here to Plymouth. And after the game, you know, some of them going off to places like the Barbican or, you know, the Hoe, where you've got that really beautiful scenic landscape and enjoying it and being like, wow, Plymouth is actually great. And it's having that pride in your own city to go, you want people to come here and have that reaction and not be like, oh, Plymouth is not looking great because it's full of plastic or there's bits of rubbish everywhere. So I suppose there is an ability to tie it all in with whatever you're interested in, whether you're interested in football, whether you're not. It's having that pride in where you live. Do you find that that's the message that you're kind of telling people?
Yeah, so it's a pride in where we live, but also, I mean, we're an ocean city and it's our ocean city. So, yeah, even further, like pride in the ocean and being able to protect it.
What kind of do you pick up any really interesting bits of rubbish like?
I mean, depends where we go. If it's around the Barbican, then there's a few beer cans and bits and bobs. Yeah.
Nothing. You never found anything like totally.
Not that I'd want to get into.
Very sensible. Because sea swimming as well is something that's really big, and you mentioned about that mental health element of, you know, like being near the sea, but also being in the sea as well. That's a real big thing, isn't it?
I mean, that's a mental health thing and a physical health thing. It's like cold water therapy and all sorts. So it's brilliant for you in every respect. And if you manage to get a snorkel mask on and get your fins on as well, then you'll see all sorts of wildlife out there as well, which is brilliant, really. Yeah.
Do you do any like collaborative work with other ocean cities or towns and things like that? Do you know, like Portsmouth, or I'm just trying to think of places around the coast?
Be careful here because we are the ocean city.
Of course, sorry. But is there any, like, how do you pick up your information education? Is it any other collaborative work you do?
So I mean, sometimes the Seagrass guys take their show on the road a little bit and they go around different places. I think they've been involved in some of the tall ship stuff local to Portsmouth as well before. And then our school groups, I mean, to be honest, we're pretty proud of home and we do focus more on home. They do tour around the schools as well. But yeah, hopefully we'll get out there a little bit more and get those other cities involved.
When it comes to keeping, you know, everything clean, obviously there's that surface level of how it looks.
Yeah.
But what are kind of the main ramifications of having plastic pollution or any other kind of litter? Is it specifically, you know, the effect it has on wildlife, or are there other elements as well?
Yeah, so there's quite a few different factors. I mean, obviously we're aware that plastic pollution is one of the main threats to the ocean. Plastic is a physical thing that can actually harm animals, but it's also full of toxins and chemicals and all sorts, and if, you know, things eat it, it's terrible. But it can affect the entire ecosystem on multiple levels. There's a thing called bioaccumulation, where it builds up the ecosystem, gets worse and worse. Sorry, it sounds a bit terrible. It gets worse and worse as it goes up the ecosystem. But also it limits ecosystems' ability to manage with climate change and other factors. So the more threats that there are, the more they sort of build up on each other. And then ultimately we're sort of a part of that ecosystem, really, and it affects us, and climate change affects us as well. So it all sort of feeds back into each other. And yeah, a bit of a... Yeah,
I mean, it gets a bit existential sometimes at times when you think
but
about.
That's why we're doing it.
There's such an important message we're trying to portray and relay. We don't want things infiltrating our systems and then it becoming part of, you know, that cycle.
I mean, obviously here on the Breakfast Show, you have, you know, we've got a specific audience here watching, of course, football fans. Is there anything that they can do, you know, those watching, to kind of help make Plymouth the best it can be?
Yeah, of course. So we've got our litter picks, so you can get involved on those. excuse me. So if you go to www.oct, so the Ocean Conservation Trust.org, and then go to our experiences part of the website, then you'll be able to book onto the litter picks, the Ocean City cleanups, and get involved. But apart from that, I mean, the problem really starts at the source, so limiting that plastic consumption to begin with. I think you guys are pretty good, actually, with sustainability, and I think you've got your single-use, your multiple-use cups, don't you? Beer cups or whatever. So yeah, just being able to support those sorts of initiatives. And then I know it's a bit difficult to get involved in the practical side of conservation, so we've got a thing called the Think Ocean Challenge, which you can take. It's a sort of 8-question quiz. You can do it on our website, and actually it's a bit like a personality quiz. It puts you in a sort of shoal, so that might be the head shoal, the heart shoal, the hand shoal, or the new starter shoal. And then according to those things, we'll be able to give you a few little things that you can fit into your everyday lives to help to protect the marine environment. Which is pretty handy.
Take a look at that. I suppose it's one of those things. It just starts from the basics. If it's a case of you guys coming here and just making sure the rubbish is put in the it's not just left around and not just chucked as you're leaving the stadium. That's where it starts. And then if people have an interest, they can keep going and do those beach cleans that you've mentioned. But thank you so much for talking to us about that. It's really interesting.
Thank you very much.
It's great. We're really bringing together the main elements of Plymouth here. We've got ourselves. We've had James with the Theatre Royal. Now we've got the National Marine Aquarium. This is a real nice wholesome morning we've got. Thank you so much for being here this morning. And we've also got everyone on social as well. So do stay in touch with us. Send us a message over on any of the social medias. I know a lot of you are travelling up to West Brom today, so we would very much love to hear from you. We've already had a few of you already. We'll read some more of you out later. Coming up after 11 o'clock, because we are just 1 minute away now, we're going to be turning our focus a little bit more towards this afternoon's game, and it is of course with the league leaders again, which are West Bromwich Albion. Going to be treated to an analytical masterclass from Aaron Kuzat this morning, who will be digging deeper into West Brom's top start to the season. Assistant first team coach Pete Shuttleworth is going to be talking to us about trying to harness the positive atmosphere in camp at the moment. And Ryan Hardy is taking on the 72 in 72 challenge with the added incentive to try and beat Brian McGlinchey's 43 from last week.
It's not about the miles travelled, the long journeys planned and made. Portsmouth to Sunderland by coach, car or train.
We are pilgrims, like our forebears. The spirit of adventure is in our veins.
In battles fought on foreign ground, our loyal chant and constant sound.
We travel as one.
The Green Army under march.
We wear the shirt with pride.
A sea of green surging forward like the tide. Jammers, one and all. The threads are woven with our dreams. In every stitch our passion beams. Distance doesn't faze us. We're loyal to the last.
It's more than just a shirt. We are Plymouth Argyle.
We were built for the journey.
This is Argyle Breakfast, and we are now into the second hour of the show. Hope you're having a lovely morning and you've had all your breakfast and a nice cup of tea. If not, just keep going, because until midday it still counts as breakfast in my eyes. Argyle are back on the road again. They're fresh from beating last week's leaders, which were Sunderland. And as always, Argyle TV is going to be with you for today's attempt on Argyle TV all afternoon. Matchday Live will be kicking off a bit later on with a pre-match show that's free on YouTube from 2:30 p.m. So make sure you tune in from that. And match passes for the game can be bought online as well. So if you haven't got them, make sure you do so before it starts. Now, as you know, Aaron Cusack has been with me all morning, but now we are joined by none other than Charlie Price, fresh from his holiday. How was it?
Well, it was great, Erin. Thank you. I was gutted, though, to have missed.
I know, of all
last
the times
weekend's
to
game.
go away.
I should go away again.
Maybe
actually,
you're a
just
bad luck talisman.
Maybe. But no, it was great.
Can we fly you out this morning? There's a game in a few hours.
Too late. Let's
go
get
to
rid
the
of
airport,
plane somewhere. You know.
Imagine. Brian McGlinchey
I know what you're
also
going to say, yeah.
was here last week while you weren't here, and I don't know what word would you use, Aaron, to summarise Brian's effort? Because I mean, Charlie, you were feeling content.
Very smug at the top of the
smug.
leaderboard of
Not
72 and
anymore.
72. Yeah. Well, I heard he just went into this Zen state.
Have you actually? Have you
No,
seen
I haven't
it?
watched it
I
back
do
yet,
think
no.
we need. Has it been ratified though?
I did it this morning.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
God, you're so efficient.
Those statisticians out there, intra-observer reliability. So I looked at it again this morning.
I have no idea what you just said.
That's all for you uni people out there. So where I look at it initially and then I go back and question it itself, and it was spot on.
It was. What was it? 43.
Yeah. I did it this morning, and I was like, well done me for keeping up with him, because he was really impressive.
Well done you, but that's an incredible effort from Brian.
Yeah,
isn't
it was.
43.
Do you feel like maybe this experience on the breakfast show now needs like a two-parter where we come back at the end of the season?
I mean, we play each team twice,
right?
Don't we? So each
we
person
do the
gets 2
72
attempts
twice.
at this, 72 and 72.
So what we could do is we could add a little bit of a challenge. You could highlight the league. So you start. The new challenge will be Championship teams go. And then
you're diversified.
Sudden you'll say League One, and you got to try and switch to League.
That's far too difficult, Aaron.
Oh, that's because you'll just memorise it now, and it'll be the high scores.
God, you are bringing a real.
You know what I mean?
Challenge.
Taskmaster.
These ideas when you've not done it as well, by the way.
Hey, I keep score really well, and you keep the time really well.
The way I look at that countdown clock is
keep time. Just watching a phone.
72 seconds on the dot.
She has like a ring thing; it goes off. And all sorts.
I actually made it make a noise last week.
Done.
I'm stepping up. But I said before Brian did it, after Mark, I was like tempted. I could give it a go. Not now. I would like.
Yeah, the time to have gone was after Mark.
It was after Mark.
I've not seen Mark since. So is he all right? I've not seen him since. So is he okay? Mark, where are you?
I've not even heard from him.
No. He's in hiding.
Yeah,
pure embarrassment from.
Oh my God, we need to do like a shout. If anyone has seen Mark Edworthy in the last 2 weeks, please do let us know. We are concerned. On to today's game.
More pressing
though.
matters.
More pressing. More serious and more pressing matters. I mean, Charlie, unfortunately you weren't here and you did miss it. It was an amazing game last week, but. Really, the stars have aligned to allow Argyle to do it all over again because West Brom are now the league leaders.
I know. I talk about a kind of rough little period in terms of fixtures, even this early on in the season. But yeah, I mean, we've done it once. We may as well be able to go out and do it again against the league leaders. Quite a few similarities, I suppose, in the way that West Brom and Sunderland have started the season. Keeping it tight at the back, not conceding many goals. Completely different sort of teams. They're far more experienced than Sunderland were in terms of age of the squad and stuff. But real test for Argyle. But they've proven that each week they're getting better and better, and confidence must be so high after last weekend. The way in which they won it as well, in injury time or stoppage time.
Well, we said that to Aaron already, didn't we? About they could almost look at this as a bonus in that they're going against an opponent who are still up there. So you kind of got that mindset of we're the underdog, so to speak. Let's go and show what we can do. It's almost, when you look at patterns as well, I might be wrong here, but I'm sure like the previous game before we played Sunderland, they beat Portsmouth away.
Yeah.
And then did
West
Brom win at Portsmouth last week?
3-0, yeah.
So maybe the omens are there. Maybe the stars align. 3-2 win away from home today.
It'll be. I know we're going to play it later, but it's if you want to look at omens, we don't do well against West Brom generally. I'm afraid to say.
Okay.
Oh, I love a little spooky, as we know from
week one's a spooky story.
Exactly. Week one's famous haunting. I love it. Oh, that's really. But then an omen can be broken.
Exactly, and
patterns can be broken.
Completely different teams and stuff. Yeah. But it'll be difficult. I think it'll be quite a good game. If it's easy to say that now, but last week we played so well, scored goals. We've been showing attacking football. West Brom are confident. It should be quite an entertaining one, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think you were saying earlier about how Rooney and the club could have just held on to that draw at the end. And the fact that they pushed for the win is kind of it is the difference maker in this situation. But having that personality, that stance on it going into this game is also going to be important, because we don't want to be that team where you just go, okay, well, we'll just hedge our bets here, we'll just play it safe. You can't. The fans want to see more.
Mindset's a massive thing, isn't it? Even in the physical nature of the game. Like if you think about, if we use the what if situation, like, what if we now lose compared to what if we now go on and win it? It's just that shift in that forward press and that stepping onto it. And they're going to have to manage the game today. They'll be under the cosh for high passages of it, but it's just how they manage those situations. So let's see how it unfolds.
Yeah.
And you, after this is another thing you missed last week. You've done all your drawings.
Oh, I have.
You've done a Nick Barnes?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, did it last night. It was quite therapeutic. I've drawn the West Brom.
He stole his children's felt tip pens.
Yeah, so have my kids' pens.
Have you got evidence of this?
I've got it down there.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing you a favour by not showing Nick's on screen as a comparison point.
Can we get it on? Oh, yeah, nice. Okay.
We should hold it up. Can we?
Know if you can
will it be?
Camera 3 there.
Camera 3, but.
Oh yeah, here we go.
There we are.
This is not my work.
That is terrific, Aaron. So you're going to do that for every game? Inspired by Nick Barnes.
Is that a shrimp on the?
No, it's a bird. Come on,
Yeah,
no.
No, honestly, look.
To be fair, it does resemble a shrimp. To be fair, yes.
It's because I'm having my own personal flashbacks to the seafood poisoning I got earlier this week. And the less we go into that, the better. It does. You're right. It's lovely. I think let's keep this going.
It was therapeutic.
We can do Aaron's analysis and Aaron's
art.
Colour time.
Oh, I got bring
back
art
don't.
attack.
Yes.
It's nice to have little different tributaries and facets.
Yeah, I won't be teaching people to draw or anything. No,
I think.
Even put a key next to key
players.
Key players.
Oh my God!
See, I can add some colour to that.
Very good.
He's a visual learner. Now, as joyous as that was, let us return to the main. We'll talk about this afterwards with you as well, Charlie. This is the main news of the day. Of course, this is the exclusive interview that we've had with Joe Edwards. It was announced last night that our captain has signed a new contract here with Argyle, extending his time until 2026, which is obviously fantastic news. And Charlie was the one that got to interview him all about it. So if you missed it earlier, here he is again talking about his extended role here at the club.
Is there something that you can, pinpoint in you, and I suppose other players will be in this situation as well, where you almost feel it's your time to step up in a game like that? Because it feels almost not like a coincidence that when a big game is there, Joe Edwards gets the goal or puts in the performance.
I don't know if I can put my finger on it. I know I prepare the same for every game. So my missus will make me laugh. I have the same food, same stuff, consistent in what I do. But I enjoy the pressure. I've always taken responsibility in terms of leading a group or doing what I need to do, and maybe it's just a coincidence that because I've always been consistent and tried to do the same things in these moments, a few have thankfully fell to me. It's something I'm really proud of. I don't sort of shy away when there's a challenge, and I think that the bigger the game, the more I look forward to it. The atmosphere that we have here is incredible, and I think knowing there's pressure on it and knowing that I am the captain and there is responsibility on me maybe brings out a little bit more. And usually I will try and do it by running or working hard or a tackle, which will then bring our much more talented players in to score us a worldie or score us a different type of goal or keep us a clean sheet. And then occasionally, luckily, it's been a moment where I can enjoy, which has been a goal for myself. So, listen, I'm very lucky it's been that way, but I'd say I've worked hard in my career throughout to get these moments, and thankfully I've taken them.
You mentioned a little earlier about the relationship you have with the supporters, and I think that's quite clear how they feel towards you as well. With, like you said, the songs, there are people now saying get a statue built and all of that sort of stuff. And I imagine you've had good relationships with supporters at previous clubs, but has it been anything like what you've got with Argyle fans?
No, this has been the best I've ever had, and the best I will ever have. It is a special place, and I think coming down and joining, you don't realise it until you're here and experience it, what it means to everyone. Listen, we're a million miles from everywhere, so it's their club. It's something that they're passionate about, and I think the sooner you buy into it, the better. And I did straight away, and I've been lucky enough to receive numerous messages and comments along the way, and I think that really helps me as a player. I'm confident every time I play at home and away because I know they're backing me, and to have that sort of support is incredible, and certainly helps me playing wise. I know it helps me off the pitch. The minimum I always try for these is to work hard, and I've done that throughout, but I think at Argyle the fans really recognise that, and it's something that I'll continue to do. Listen, at times quality won't always be there, and things will happen in games, but I think they know deep down I'll be working as hard as I can, and I think they give me the energy to do that. I think especially that whole game was so tense, but I just felt like I had all the energy in the world because I knew they were backing me, and how much it meant to them was special. So no, I can't thank them enough because they're the reason I'm still here. I said if they were not happy with me, I'm sure all the managers would keep playing me as well. So I think I've got a lot to thank the fans for, because I say without their support, I don't think we'd have had the success that we've had.
Yeah. If we look ahead, and obviously with this extra year and the future is hopefully going to be bright, what do you think can be achieved here?
Yeah, well, we've got a fantastic manager now. I said I'm lucky to have worked with some brilliant managers here, and Shuey and Lowy, they were fantastic guys and people I got on really well with. And now we've got a manager in who I've looked up to as a player for many years, and someone who I massively respect, and now I'm lucky enough to pick his brains and have a chance to work for him. So I think we're in a really good place. I think we're all learning off each other. He's really settled in down here, which is fantastic, and I think now we're in a position where we've got some really talented players, a lot younger and a lot more skillful than myself, but they need someone to guide them, I suppose. So the gaffer's been great with me to sort of lead that and keep running the changing room, and that'll be something I enjoy. And I said now we've got this season and another of me playing, and I said I'm thankful for the club to allow me to do this and give me this opportunity, because I said at the minute playing's my full focus, and I wanted to prove this season I can still do it. And listen, I'll be the first to put my hands up and say, listen, I was not ready, or I'm not can't compete at this level still, but I still kind of feel good, and I think we've got an exciting future.
I was really hoping there was going to be a way it cut, so it just went from you and Joe to then me and Aaron magically appearing in his place. How was that to chat
Great.
with Joe?
Joe's just brilliant, isn't he? Like, the outpouring of love that he gets from supporters is fully justified. Like, he's such a rounded, great person that it's no surprise that he took to captaincy so well. The way in which every single player respects him, Every single staff member respects him. You know, we chatted for a good 15-20 minutes after that, just about sort of general things, and you can tell how happy he is that he's contributing. Like he was just saying at the end there, like he'd be the first to acknowledge when he thinks he's not good enough, but he thinks he's good enough, and boy is he at the minute. Like he's playing some incredible football, and it's great. Like he has just become almost like a Mr. Plymouth Argyle.
Yeah,
for someone who's not from the area, to have the sort of that, to have that sort of acclaim, and to have made that role for himself, and maybe even aura, it's great. And I'm so happy that he's here for another year, because he keeps getting better.
And he's getting that recognition now. I mean, Aaron, you said earlier, there was a moment last season, with Ian Foster where Joe was kind of on the outside, and now absolutely not. He's being recognised by Wayne Rooney for what he is, what he does, what he brings to the club, which has obviously been emphasised in this contract signing. But it's nice to see that passion.
Well, even you could argue he didn't play in the first game of the season. Didn't play against Sheffield Wednesday. Now, whatever, that you can't read too much into that. But there may have been a thought in Wayne Rooney's head where it's like, well, we want, I see what he does in the squad or whatever, but we've got better players in that position. And then he comes on in the next game and hasn't looked back since.
It's a good point you make, because in reality, right, there's no sentiment in football. If everyone loves Joe and he isn't good enough, Rooney won't play him. As simple as that. But what he's done is he's showcased what he can do in training to capture the attention of Rooney and the management, to go, okay, maybe we need to let this guy play. And now he's always been settled, but because he's in a great space, we're starting to get that consistency, and that's what he'll chase. He will chase consistency now. Yeah. He'll want to play a 7 out of 10. He'd rather have 20 7 out of 10s than 2 or 3 10 out of 10s, and the other 17 kind of 4 or 5 out of 10. So he just wants that consistency, and that's what he's going to strive for.
I think last year was probably a big thing for him as well, because I think we'd all spoken about the step up for Joe and the position he plays as that fullback. The wingers in the Championship will be a lot quicker, a lot trickier than he would have faced in League One. And there were times last year when you were like, oh, this is going to be a long afternoon for Joe. But because he's pretty intelligent and has played a lot of football, he worked it out. And I think last year was probably great for him, that he feels he's established himself, like a lot of our players in our squad actually, at this level, knows he can do it. Yeah. And long may his little purple patch of form continue at the minute,
and hopefully we see him maybe do something similar to last week again today. Only time will tell. We'll have to see. Of course, we've got a lot coming up this morning, and one of the things coming up is, of course, that game with West Brom. Maybe we will see Joe score. It's a difficult challenge. It's been 31 years since our last win over them, and that was a 5-2 victory at the Thorhorn. Steve Castle scored the hat-trick. He'll be talking about that. Aaron is also picking out the players to watch on both sides ahead of this afternoon's game. And we'll be hearing from Pete Shuttleworth, who's hoping that Argyle can build on last weekend's confident-boosting win.
It's not about the miles travelled, the long journeys planned and made. Portsmouth to Sunderland, by coach, car or train.
We are pilgrims, like our forebears. The spirit of adventure is in our veins.
In battles fought on foreign ground, our loyal chant a constant sound.
We travel as one.
The Green Army, under march.
We wear the shirt with pride.
A sea of green surging forward like the tide. Jammers, one and all. The threads are woven with our dreams. In every stitch our passion beams. Distance doesn't faze us. We're loyal to the last.
It's more than just a shirt.
We are Plymouth Argyle.
We were built for the journey.
right, you're back with Argyle Breakfast, and let's hear from Argyle now. In a moment, Pete Shuttleworth is going to be giving his verdict on West Brom and the game we've got ahead. But first of all, let's hear from none other than Darko JB.
I instinctively want to say regarding the Sunderland game that maybe that'll give everyone confidence going forward, etc. But I'm not sure there was really a lack of confidence to begin with, was there? I think it's just been the way that the results have gone against us. But performances have largely been okay. So there's no real lack of confidence even before Sunderland.
No. I think, like I've said before, I think we've got a really good group here. Got a good squad, we've got good players, and I think we just need to keep believing and trusting in each other because, we've got a really good chance of doing big things this year.
Well, there was no lack of confidence as we've established. You would still think that beating the team that had started with 4 consecutive wins, such as Sunderland, who are a good side, that must give everyone a bit of added bonus. I bet training's been good this week, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's always better when you win because, you get better vibes from it. But, we're still staying focused because we know it's just one win and we want to keep winning more games and putting more performances like that out there. So, I think we just want to stay consistent and still remain calm even though we've won,
That's an excellent attitude. Saturday is a trip to the Hawthorns. West Bromwich Albion, as we just mentioned, have usurped Sunderland at the top of that table. They're a form team that have started well, so no easy task going away to a team like that.
No, for sure. It's going to be a different game. Obviously, they're the league leaders now, like you said, but we're not going into that game with any form of fear or anything. We're just going to go there, work hard and try and get the result that we want. So, looking forward to it.
Obviously, on the road is a different prospect to being at home. I'm sure the atmosphere inside Home Park was fantastic last week. But there'll be a lot of the Green Army. It's not terribly far away for West Brom by our standards. Yeah. It's not that far. There'll be a lot of Argyle fans travelling in good noise, I would think.
Yeah, no, I think we need them for sure. I think away from home is so much important as well. We need them on our side. So, just want everyone to get down there and help us.
It feels like, I suppose there's no small games in the Championship, but it feels like a real run of games this, with Sunderland last week, West Brom this week, as we've established. Then it's Luton Town, a team that were in the Premier League on the TV. Burnley away, they're fancied. Blackburn are doing well. This is a great group of games. Do you get excited by these? You want to play in these big games?
These are the games that everybody wants to play in. I think it's also a challenge for us to show how good we are as well. And it's not just about those other teams. Obviously, all these other teams have been in the Prem before, but that doesn't matter. We're in the same league, so we're competing for the same thing, and we believe that we're good enough. So, we just need to keep going with it.
As we go away from home, for the first time in a while, actually, it's been quite a strange little period without too much travelling to do. But as we go up to West Bromwich on Saturday, as well as having the Sunderland game in mind, will the QPR game be in mind? Because certainly up until the point where we went down to 10 men, I thought we were on top in that game. We were playing really well. It was a totally different performance after that, but no lesser accomplishment to come away with that point. That was a real boost, I thought, to have that performance and that result on the road. Maybe that's something we take through to Saturday as well.
Yeah, and take something from every game. Like there's been bits in every game where you think that's what we want to happen. Even the last bit against QPR when we're down to 10 men, the desire to defend your goal, to defend your box was outstanding. And in every game of football, if you can bring a little bit of that, you can bring our quality, which you showed on Saturday, and we can put all them bits together, we'll be a good side. And we keep telling the lads to believe in that as well. There's a lot of quality in our changing room, but also a lot of hard work, a lot of togetherness, a lot of desire to go and win football matches, and if we can keep building on that, then we'll surprise a few this year.
What are you expecting from West Brom in terms of their the way they play? Do they have a similar style to anyone we've played so far this season? What sort of thing are you expecting?
No, they're a bit different, but they've had a good start. There's a lot of experience, a lot of championship experience in that team. A team that's been together for a while, and it's no surprise they've started well. They've added bits of quality in there as well. They've got some pace, and they've got a lot of depth as well. The subs who came off in their last game at the weekend shows the quality they've got. So we expect a tough challenge. It's a tough place to go. It can be a good atmosphere up there when they're playing well. We've been there a few times, and we've got to be able to deal with that and then put our own stamp on the game as well. So it'll be a tough challenge, but one we're ready for.
From an Argyle perspective, obviously with coming out of a win, but there was also substitutes that were involved and other people that would be champing at the bit to get into the side. How are we looking as a squad?
We've got a big squad now. We've got a big squad with loads of quality, loads of depth in it. I've just asked a question there about the starting 11, and we've actually got 19, 20 players who could all play in our 11 without weakening it. And it's about those players who are in, keeping their shirt with their performances and their commitment to what we're asking them to do. Those who aren't in the team battling and wanting to take that shirt from them, and that can only be healthy.
There you go, and I'm pleased to say we're joined by Katie Middleton in the studio for the first time.
I know, exciting, right?
Mm-hmm. What do you think? It's good, isn't it?
Great, yeah, it looks great.
Well, very pleased to have you here. You're going to do some. We need to get a graphic. I was going to be like Aaron analysis, but I'm not going to sing it because that would be horrible. Yeah. But you are going to do some Aaron analysis together.
We are. Yes, we are. So what we're going to do, Katie, each week.
Just remembering.
I was just.
You're here, Aaron. It's Argyle, but you're in the studio.
I was just imagining what we could get Aaron's analysis in bright light. Sorry, I've lost my track. So what we do each week, Casey, is we talk about the key players for the opponents, and then two or three players that we've selected for the Greens. So Josh Maja is our first player for West Brom. So 25-year-old striker. Top scorer in the league, scored 5 already, including a hat-trick in the opening game of the season. He's had an assist. What's really impressive is his shots on target. So he's had 14 shots this season, 7 on target, of which he scored 5 goals. So you know how deadly he can be when he gets that ball on target. Big threat, injured last year, seems to have settled this season. So have you had much observation on him so far?
Well, I think, like you said, one of the big things is that he's a top-class finisher. And I think that's kind of one of the key things that's going to come of today's game is going to be how you can kind of minimise those opportunities that you give him. You know, he played at Bordeaux, I think, before he signed back at West Brom, and you know, I think he scored 16 in a season there. So, you know, he's a top quality player who brings lots of athleticism to the side as well. So, yeah, someone who's certainly got some good qualities that we'll need to be aware of.
And he will naturally be on the radar for more established teams if he keeps scoring. And that's probably going to be his trajectory there he wants to go. So, you know, we'll cover some Argyle bits in a minute on how we can try to thwart that. But the other player that I've picked out is an accomplice alongside him is young Tom Fellows. So England under-21 internationals, had 4 assists this year. He's had 12 goal-creating actions, but for me, the most impressive is his 1v1 successes. He's got a 69% 1v1 success rate, so his ability to go beyond his man in a 1v1 is highly impressive. So, you know, Barley Mumba might be the player he's up against. So how do you see a way in which we can try and prevent him from getting on the ball?
Yeah, I think from having watched Argyle obviously several times this season, one of the areas that sometimes I think is our downfall is when we're in possession, the fullbacks tend to tuck in a little bit. When the ball's turned over quickly, it's how well we can get back into shape and get a back four again. And when you're playing against players like Tom Fellows, who are, you know, want to stay high, want to stay wide, he'll cut in off that right-hand side. It's can you get the bodies around him to stop him being deadly in those situations? And I think maybe, you know, you then look at the likes of your holding midfielders and say, right, you've got a really important role as well. If your fullback is out of position, you know, how well can you tuck around and fill that space to try and stop it becoming an issue? But I think at times that's where we've looked maybe susceptible to, you know, chances created against us.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and it leads nicely into our first player that we've selected from Argyle's perspective. If you think about coaching on the ball, around the ball, and away from the ball, picking up those key moments. I picked out Lewis Gibson. So Lewis Gibson, he's top in terms of the squad of clearances had this year, so 26. Interceptions, he's had 5. He's got a high percentage pass rate. We know what he's like at kind of snuffing out any danger. These are some clips against West Brom. But, you know, how integral will he be to marshal maybe the fullbacks to tuck in and cover those spaces that Tom Fellows and co might try to occupy?
Yeah, I think massive. And, you know, playing as a centre-back, it's not just about, you know, winning the ball and, you know, making interceptions and headers and stuff. It's about, you know, that organisational ability as well of everyone else around you. You can generally see quite a lot of the pitch, what's going on. So you've got a really important role from that aspect to, yeah, there might be times when, you know, Rooney says to Barley Mumba, you know, go and push in and kind of overload the midfield a little bit. But, you know, he might see something different and say, actually, now's not the time. Just sit in, you know, let's be difficult to break down. And it'll be picking those moments, which is key. But I think Lewis Gibson's been fantastic for us so far this season.
He really has. Yeah. And those little clips there, it's not just his defensive capability, it's also his ability on the ball. He was integral in 2 of the goals last week. You know, he stepped in well for the equaliser. And it was a relatively simple pass, but a pass nonetheless he had to make for setting up the winning goal.
Yeah, and I think, you know, Suge on the other side of him has been really good since he's come in as well. So the two of them now have played a couple of games together, look to be building a good partnership. So they both want to play on the front foot, they both want to step in. They're relatively good on the ball, both of them. So I think definitely a positive area for Argyle this season so far. I know we're still conceding goals, but those things will come. It's like I say, a new partnership. So as that progresses, I think that will only get better.
Nice. And then our last one is very fitting, actually. We've gone with Captain Marvel himself, Joe Edwards. It's almost like the stars are aligned. So we've got his age there, 33, we know that. But fullback, goals this season 1, tackles and interceptions. He's first in the squad, so he's had 19. Pass completion rate, only second to Lewis Gibson. And we're looking at the clips here, Katie, like how tenacious he's been already this year. To kind of showcase his ability to play at this level and also the quality he has in possession as well. So what do you think is going through his mind in preparation for the game today?
I think more of the same. He's a player who kind of set his standards, hasn't he, over the years, and since he became captain, his game is very much play on the front foot, be aggressive, go and win tackles, and sometimes it just takes a decent tackle from Joe Edwards to get the crowd up and going, and that's what we love to see from him. He wants to be involved, he wants to make tackles, but then, like you say, on the flip side, he's actually been good in possession as well. And sometimes it's a case of knowing when to play forwards, when to play backwards, keep possession. When can we turn the opposition around and get him behind. And he's linking up well with Morgan Whittaker down that right hand side. So we just want to keep seeing Joe Edwards being Joe Edwards and doing what he does best.
Yeah, and the game today, so they're going to go away to the league leaders. Played 5, won 4, drawn 1. Have won 3 on the road, won 1 at home, drawn at home. Scored 9 goals, conceded 2. I think they've been able to select the same 11 in every game. So things that might be running through the players' minds. What do you think? How are they going to try and approach this game?
From an Argyle perspective, I think it's it's very much. I guess it was a similar scenario last week when you play Sunderland, obviously home last weekend. But Sunderland again, a side who had only conceded 1, which I think had been an own goal by that point anyway. Top of the league at the time. Almost kind of the pressure's off. Is it one of those games where you're not expected necessarily to go and need to get points from? You look at some games where you think, right, we need to be winning against teams around us. But, today is another one of those games where, yes, West Brom are a good side. Although something in our favour, Josh Madger hasn't scored at home yet this season. All of his goals have been away. So let's hope we keep that run going. But it's about being compact and being difficult to break down. And then what can we do when we're in possession? Can we play with that tempo, that intensity that we did in the second half last week, which made a real difference. I thought the first half last week we were a little bit slow. Didn't really look like we connected very well in areas of the pitch. But I think this week, can we play with that same intensity that we saw in the second half and create opportunities and hopefully score another few goals? That'd be great.
Well, you said about being difficult to break down. I mean, West Brom have created over 100 chances this season in 5 games. That last week against Portsmouth, they created 33 chances, so they know that they're quite good on the front foot. So keeping it, resolute at the back is going to be very difficult.
I was going to say, while we're on that train of thought of maybe how it might be difficult to beat West Brom, Argyle's record, fair to say, not the greatest against the Baggies. So I've got here last win over them coming in 1993. So no pressure there at all. But on that day, Steve Castle did get a hat-trick, which was certainly a day to remember for the midfielder.
It's fired into the roof of the net by Castle, and that is one way to get a hat-trick.
I believe that we had a few knocks before then, and we didn't have any good results building up to that, and I think everyone was in the doldrums, and I think it was an expected thing.
Plymouth are 6 points out of the relegation zone. They've only won 1 of their last 8 games. Albion, on the other hand, well, they've won their last 3 and unbeaten in 7 and are now in 3rd position.
They were up there. I don't know whether they were top, but they were up there. They were a very good team, but we just hit the ground.
Nicely played. Andy Hunt Must be.
How ridiculous. I think we were 1-0 down. I think it ended up being 3-1, 4-1, and then they got one. Ended up 5-2, which is a ridiculous goal scoring line for defensive scores.
Goal. Now Dalton. That's the equaliser. Another very, very simple goal.
Martin Barlow, I remember putting in two really great balls that I got my head onto. We found ourselves in front.
The danger not over yet though, Barlow. Wicked cross, and that's a tremendous goal. Steve Castle again. An excellent header to put Plymouth 2-1 up.
Paul Dalton, myself and Steve McCall, the trio that's always on the free kicks. Used to be a little bit of a bully, if I'm honest, sometimes. I'll have it. And before anyone knew, I'd already hit the thing.
Castle might have a go here looking for his hat-trick even.
The poor goalkeeper, because I can't remember the lad's name, but any time I used to play against him, I used to score quite often.
It's fired into the roof of the net by Castle, and that is one way to get a hat-trick.
So I got the first opportunity. Paul got the second opportunity and scored.
Castle leaving it this time. Dalton with it. Oh, it's another one.
And then obviously Martin Barlow getting one in the second half as well.
Oh, they're through again here. Castle wants it. Castle gets it. And this time Lang manages to stop it, does he? Oh, he won't now. It's a number 5.
It ended up being a really convincing victory against a fantastic club. It was, as I say, probably a meteor for us to what was going to go on next year. Really, it was a really attack-minded way that we were going to go to one of the best clubs in that league, and show that we can score more goals than them. Really.
Famous victory here at the Hawthorns by 5 goals to 2. A hat-trick by Steve Castle.
We could do 5-2 today, no? 31 years overdue.
Yeah. I watched that VT last year because we didn't win up there last year, so it was about time we got a result and so we could change the VT.
I was just trying to gauge the context of that. I was like,
I was like, I'm sure I've seen this.
Just spend your time
so
watching
that means we
old.
didn't win last year either. Yeah, so we can let's get a victory today, and we can change the.
Yeah, today's the day.
Exactly.
Today's the day.
All business.
Yeah.
Katie, motivation with Katie. Today's the day.
Indeed.
I mean, Charlie was just saying off air, we've had 9 games between then and this one. He said drawn 2, lost the rest. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if you want to do your the magic words that was something to do with statistics on this.
I've forgotten what they are now.
But, surely the odds now in our favour?
Probably not, I'd say.
That's the spirit.
How many games did we win away last year? Can't remember. 1? 2?
Okay.
Not many.
Probably not. But, there's always an anomaly, isn't there?
Exactly.
There's always an outlier.
But what if we've had our anomaly last week?
Yeah, I mean, those who like a little flutter, there's always an accumulator breaker, isn't there? So maybe West Brom will be a banker for most people today, so maybe we'll upset the apple cart that way.
Yes, possibly. Katie, were you here for last week's game? Did you get to see it in real life?
Yes, real life.
How did you find it?
Oh, it was great. Well, the second half was
yes,
great.
Yes.
First half, not so great, but yeah, it was. The atmosphere here was absolutely bouncing, and once you get back into it, you go 2-1 ahead, and you think, great. Then roller coaster of emotions. Concede quite late on to equalise, and then obviously Joe pops up with the winner in the 93rd minute or whatever it was. So yeah, it was great to be here, and really good performance in the second half, I thought, as well. So hopefully we can continue that into sort of coming games as well.
Do you know who else we're looking for a good performance from today, Katie? You. Because we're going to do the 72 and 72 challenge in a bit. No pressure. How are you feeling? You have been briefed. Unlike
I still feel like maybe that's not going to necessarily stand me in good stead, but we shall see how we go.
This would have been your perfect opportunity to just deny all knowledge in case it went wrong. Yeah, Katie doesn't have any idea what's about to happen. But it is that time of the show again. It's the 72 in 72 challenge. So, Katie, as you know, in a minute, you're going to be put on the spot for the challenge. If you don't know, it's essentially naming all 72 EFL teams in 72 seconds. But before we get into that, it is the turn of our number 9, Ryan Hardy, who does have a difficult challenge going up against the mighty Brian McGlinchey from last week. The score to beat from him is 43, so no pressure at all. Over to you, Ryan Hardy.
Hi, I'm Ryan Hardy, and this is the 72 and 72 challenge.
3, 2, 1, go.
Argyle, Sheff United, Sheff Wednesday, Leeds, Derby, Hull, West Brom, Birmingham, Blackpool, Reading, Wigan. I've still got loads in our league, innit? I froze. Doncaster, Crewe, Stoke. Told you, I'm stuck. Wow. Go away for that. Morecambe, Burton Albion, MK Dons, Bristol Rovers, Bristol City, Exeter. Burnley, Preston.
21.
Somebody's trying to help him at the end there.
I think so. Yeah.
We won't be doing that to you,
No.
Katie.
Oh,
You will
that's
not receive
not
any
very
help.
nice.
You won't need any help.
No, you won't need it.
Listen, as long as I beat Mark Edworthy, that's all that matters, really.
What's his score to beat? 13, 14?
Yeah, it's a pretty low bar. 13,
I think it might have been 12 or something.
13.
13.
Yeah.
This is like, you know how we said Mark's gone AWOL? If we carry on like this, he's never coming
We
back.
need a message. Where is Mark?
Yeah. Mark, we appreciate you. But yeah, come back at some point. Right, so I've got the timer ready. 1 minute 12, 72 seconds.
I'm going to put my mic down.
Okay, yeah, Aaron's ready to do the tallying. Katie, you have got a method. We'll discuss it afterwards. We don't want to give your secrets away ahead of time.
You might work it out pretty quickly.
Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay, Katie Middleton, this is your life. Begin.
Right. At Accrington Stanley, AFC Wimbledon, Barnet, Burnley, Bolton, Bristol Rovers, Bristol City, Burton, did I say them? Charlton, Carlisle, Crewe, Crawley, Cheltenham, Charlton, Derby, Exeter, Fleetwood, Gillingham, Grimsby, Hull, Huddersfield, Morecambe, MK Dons, Middlesbrough, Norwich, Newport. Oh, I think I missed Cardiff. Oxford, Plymouth Argyle, Peterborough, Portsmouth, Port Vale, Preston, QPR, Reading, Rotherham.
Okay. So this is my alarm clock noise as well. It's so peaceful and not aggressive. What are you? Where? Because I could see the Katie's one and Charlie's one at the top there.
Yeah. So Barnet in our league. They're not in the league, are they, Barnet?
Don't ask
I
me.
don't think they are, Barnet.
Dunno,
So I'll put B.
making teams up.
I don't think they are. So in which case, Grimsby are.
Oh, they're not. I've
so
heard they're not.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35.
Oh, God. You're
35.
so close to being Charlie.
That's not including the Barnet, obviously. So that's You'd have had 36. So you're 3 short of.
Do you know, that time goes really quickly as well.
Yeah. You're miles ahead of Mark. So
I mean, that's all I was going for. So
this is starting to
mission
feel like
accomplished.
workplace bullying.
Yeah. 35. Again, I will verify it.
Yeah.
Over the.
Here he
Charlie's
comes.
come in the back there. That he's fist pumping. So second place is nowhere, but yeah. Who's top, Brian?
Still not a winner.
Good effort though.
Thank you.
It was very methodical.
It was.
It was very thought.
You skipped L completely.
Oh, I did.
You did.
I'll work on my alphabet.
And I'm glad you
in future.
came back for Cardiff, because that was I was like, God, and I thought no, because I said I'm not going to help.
Yeah.
But then you
I got
knew
there.
it
I got
anyway.
there in the end. So
yeah. But you were doing like that middle distance stare that I mean Brian, I feel, was the master of it.
Yeah.
He transcended almost in his moment, but that's pretty good.
It was.
I'll take that. I think
That's good.
It's not pretty good.
That's
It's
not
really good actually.
Well,
I still don't want to go next.
Of the players, it's Lewis Gibson got 28, I think. So you're ahead of him as well. So the TV crew are bossing it at the minute.
The TV crew are better. Yeah.
Our
than the
knowledge
players
is
at the
obviously
minute.
far superior to theirs. Is
absolutely
clear.
If that is a statement you want to make and stick to, then you do it.
On EFL teams.
Of course. Well, let's take your knowledge to today, back to today, because you're going to be with Charlie later on this afternoon, aren't you, covering the game?
Yep.
How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I think, like I said, it's another big challenge, isn't it? And, another opportunity to, I guess, even if maybe result doesn't go our way, but to just keep progressing. And I think that's the key thing, isn't it? Under Wayne Rooney, I think since he's come in, I actually feel like we have made, progress game on game. Sometimes that's been in a different form, like the QPR away game, where it was dig in and try and hold on to something. But I think, from an attacking perspective, and I think this is very much what Argyle fans are all about, is, we were so used to under Schumacher, playing this exciting attacking football, and then, Foster came in, and that was all very kind of removed from where we knew Argyle were at the time. But I feel like we're getting back towards that again now, and like I say, the second half on last weekend certainly proved that we've got some goals in us, which maybe people were starting to think, where are goals coming from? So it's nice to get a couple last weekend, and hopefully just again build on that and see where we're at come 5 o'clock today.
I mean, we add a new kind of mini challenge into the mix because we now have the first league win, and as a result, the first home win. Now the question is, can we get that first away league win here this afternoon? And again, it just always happens to be up against maybe the most difficult of situations, as Argyle always seems to do.
Yeah, and I think, like I say, is it a case of pressure's off a little bit? You're not necessarily expected to go to West Brom and win. I think, if we go there today and we get a point, most people would probably snap your hand off for that anyway. So, it's about, I think it's just about the manner of how they play today. Can we be difficult to break down? Can we minimise chances for the opposition as much as we can? And then when we win the ball back, what can we do with it? Can we be productive? Can we create chances? Can we potentially get ourselves on the score sheet? And if you do that, anything can happen. And, there's absolutely no reason why we can't go there today and come back with something from it.
I agree. I mean, last year, I know it's a year on, we went up there, drew 0-0, and I think I covered it game with Charlie, and I felt that we should have won the game. It was 0-0, and you went in with that expectation of backs against the walls, it's going to be really difficult, which it was, but they were quite open, so it suited our style of play by trying to take it back to them. So if they are quite open and they are a possession-based team and they invite opportunities for us to counter, we've just got to convert, haven't we? We've got to try and be clinical.
And I think, how much do we go and press early on? Like, do you put them under a bit of pressure and, you get your front three high up the pitch and you go and try and press and win the ball back? Obviously, you don't want to do that too much against a team who can potentially play around you and put you at a disadvantage numbers-wise. But, that shows intent, doesn't it, when you go there to, try and say, right, well, we're not just going to let you have the ball and play. Can we go and nick the ball back and try and make something happen? So, yeah, we'll see kind of what the intent is in the game and in the early parts, I guess.
Yeah, the average possession, I think, of West Brom is only around about 50% anyway, so it's not like they're dominating the ball significantly every game, so that might play into our hands. I don't think I don't think it's in our best interest just to allow an onslaught, because that will only breathe confidence. And if they've got such a high shot creation chances per game, something will eventually fall to them. So I think what they mustn't do is go into their shell and try and hang on. I mean, they'll have a plan, but they need to have the belief that they can go in, disrupt their flow, and then try and get something from that game.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing, isn't it? And that belief comes from, I guess, the first victory last week. You get your first 3 points, your first home win, you score 3 goals in one half of football. That's got to be saying something, and it gives you that confidence to say, right, let's just go and do the same thing again. And then, like you say, anything can happen on the day. We're not expected to go there and win.
No.
But let's,
Did you think maybe the expectation has changed slightly to what it would have originally been on paper these last 2 games, because we've done, a little bit of a giant killing in the sense at top of the league, and we weren't favourites last week, in that now everyone's hopes are a little bit like, we did it last week, so probably do it again. Do you think there's
maybe a bit more belief, I guess, amongst not only the players, but I guess the fans and stuff as well, previously to last week, they might have been thinking, oh God, no chance of getting anything out of this, and
kind of prepare for the worst. But now it's like,
then you win a game and you think, if you go there and you lose, not the end of the world, but actually, we could go there and get something from the game, and that's certainly what the boys will be looking to do for sure. They're not going to go there and think, oh well, we'll just turn up and see what happens. They'll be going there to get something out of the game. So if that's a point, even 3, then
it's, as you know, it's key moments. What they don't want to do is what they did at QPR, where they were a goal down within 2 minutes, and then you are chasing the game. Although they came back into that game really well, I think if they go a goal behind here today early, it'll be more difficult for them to get a foothold in the game potentially. And I think with West Brom compared to Sunderland, West Brom are a lot more experienced. They're a little bit more older in a collective. They've got more Premier League experience, so they'll know how to manage situations better than perhaps what some of the Sunderland players were able to.
And I think like say, Sunderland are a young side, and flying high and coming with a bit of confidence, and then you get knocked back, and it's how you deal with that. But like you say, West Brom are maybe a little bit more experience in the side, and it's about not going goals down early, because as you say, it kind of deflates everyone from our side, gives the other side confidence, just keep going at us, and we need to have that belief that we can go there and do something. And if you can keep it nice and tight for 20-30 minutes, then you give yourself a great chance of getting something out of it.
I think from having seen last week, everyone knows that they don't want a repeat of the first half, because it was not. It wasn't an exciting watch, that first half. It was, but whatever changed, you want that energy to be there throughout the whole game, and maybe that is difficult to sustain all the way through. But you can see very clearly last week where it was going wrong and what had to change, and I think that is the kind of energy that needs to be going into today.
Yeah, and I think Aaron, you spoke about it in the analysis show afterwards, was just how the whole setup was maybe another 15-20 yards higher up the pitch, condenses the play, and then you can pop passes around way easier with far more intensity than you can if you're trying to play passes over 40 or 50 yards, which actually in the first half we tried to do endlessly, that just kept running out of play, over hit, under hit. So when you condense everything down, even in possession, it just gives you the opportunity to play with that added intensity, which I think suits Argyle.
I agree.
So hopefully they can take that on from last week, and we start the game like that rather than dropping off a bit deeper and inviting a bit of pressure and trying to force things by playing those longer balls.
I mean, last 5 games, so they've got a 2-1 loss to Fleetwood, 0-0 draw with Leeds, a winning 2-1 against Stoke, 1-0 against Swansea, and then 3-0 last week against Portsmouth. So yes, there are good significant wins in there, but they're not impenetrable. And obviously, certainly, ideally we don't want that kind of 3-0 situation that we're seeing. It's possible. Do you think it's possible to keep the margins a lot narrower with the way that we've seen Argyle last week?
I think so. I think they can do it. I mean, it's all forecast, isn't it? We don't know essentially what's going to happen, but it's just managing the situation as best they can. I mean, the games that they've played at home so far, West Brom 0-0 with Leeds, beat Swansea 1-0. Who knows? It might become a scenario for them where they struggle to score goals at home, and then the fans get on top of them, and then it creates a difficult.
Well, this is what you're hoping for. So,
with whereas away from home, they're a little bit more, open and expansive.
Yeah, I guess for us here, Home Park over the last few seasons has been a great place to be. The fans come to expect that you play good football, it's attacking. And yeah, like you say, whether that's the same for West Brom and actually it's not quite clicking, and then fans start to think, we've only scored a goal or two here, where are the goals coming from, like we were thinking at the beginning part of last week. So things can change very quickly, can't they? And it depends how Argyle set up and how difficult we are to break down as to how difficult we make life for West Brom.
Sure.
So hopefully it's a positive experience for all of us Greens for sure today.
Yes, that is what we'll be hoping for. Well, we've only got 2 minutes left of the breakfast show, so we're going to need to wrap up, and you're going to be getting ready for everything that's going on later. Katie, thank you very much for being with us this morning, and Aaron as well, of course, as always. I wonder who will get lined up for the next 72 and 72, because as each week goes past, I grow ever more stressed. Just the options.
You're on the conveyor belt.
Exactly, I'm getting closer and closer to the end, so we'll just have to see. Right, yes, thank you both. Thank you as well to all of the guests that we've had on the show here this morning, and thanks to you as well for tuning in and watching wherever you are, whether you're home, away, or travelling up to West Brom itself. Katie is going to be with Charlie Price later on for the pre-match show at 2:30. So you can watch all of that for free on YouTube. We've also got the team news and important build-up ahead of kickoff when Rob McNichol and Darren Way will take up the reins for commentary. You can stay with us throughout the whole afternoon. You won't miss a moment of the action. Match passes on the website, £2.50 for audio and £10 for certain international viewers. If you want the full video pass, all you need to do is go to the website pafc.co.uk to find that. Thank you very much for being with us this morning. Lovely to be with you. Hope you had fun, and fingers crossed, another 3 points for Argyle. See you next week.